Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to today's video. We're talking about the Jord's Divine collection today, and while I did not purchase the jewelry from this collection, I did get a chance to snag both the Jewels and Gem palette and the Stone and Rock palette from this collection. Now, the entire Jord's Divine collection does retail for $276 USD, and it does come with like jewelry pieces as well. But if you guys aren't interested in the jewelry portion, you can purchase each palette for $35.90 a piece. And I think overall, when you pay shipping, it comes to like a $75 total. While the collection was released about a week and a half ago, I still wanted to do kind of a full length, like first impression and some tutorials with these eyeshadow palettes because I finally received an Oden's Eye like collection on time. When I got the Perfect World collection, which released earlier this year, I actually received it like a month and a half after it was released, and I decided let's not do like a full like review of those palettes because it was just in the makeup community that's old news when it's been released a month and a half ago. If you guys do want to see some like 3 looks, 1 palette with those, I still have them. I still feature them on my channel. I do love them. So leave me a comment down below. Let's talk about the first palette. The one that really caught my eye more than the other one in this collection was Jewels and Gems. Here, this is more of like a purple inspired eyeshadow palette, and it does have some blues in here, and it's a very like jeweled. Says the Jewel and Gems palette features 15 shades in delicate and enchanting gray pink hues. It's inspired by the splendor and brilliance of gemstones and jewelry. They are richly pigmented and come in a range of textures from matte to shimmer and metallic finishes. This also has some really beautiful duochromes in here, as you can see from the swatches. They are absolutely just so stunning. This is actually the palette that really spoke to me because I love purples, I love pinks, and I love grays. And this one is just like, to me, it's very jewel toned in nature, and I absolutely love jewel tones, deeper tones, and it's just so stunning. So now let's talk about the Stone and Rock palette. This also retails for $35.90, and it is a part of the Jord's Divine collection. This is more of a, in my opinion, a grungy green eyeshadow palette. It does have some pops of like dark, deep blue in there, but a lot of these shades in here are a like, I think camouflage because my dad's a hunter, my dad's a fisher, and he's a wild man. And this definitely reminds me of like those olivey green tones, yellowy green tones, some really deep like jeweled green tones as well. And you can see from the swatches that it is a wide range of like blues and greens. It does have some duochromes in there. It says that the Stone and Rock showcases 15 shades in cool and earthy gray-green tones. They reflect the rugged beauty of rocks and minerals. The eyeshadow palette gives you freedom to channel your inner wildness and coolness. I, after trying both of these eyeshadow palettes, I have to say, actually, I think my favorite one has to be the Stone and Rock palette because it is that like grungy green eyeshadow that you can get. And I have one other eyeshadow palette that really reminds me of it, but this one definitely has more of those like blue and gray tones, whereas that one has more of a grungy, just green and like yellowy green shade. And that's the Croc palette from Clarity Cosmetics. That one's currently sold out, but they're relaunching, so maybe they'll have it again. Let's do a couple of eyeshadow tutorials with each of these palettes, and then we will talk more about what I think about them. So I'm using the Jewels and Gem palette from Oden's Eye. My face is already prepped. I have foundation on. Let's just get into this eyeshadow tutorial. So EO3 with Ecstasy. This is like a lavender purple shade. And because I'm wearing yellow today, I decided to do like a purpley look today. Maybe. This palette kind of ranges like blues and purples and a little bit of like pinks as well, like mauve tones. So, I mean, we could go any way possible, but we're just going to use this shade first. Well, that's really pretty because it's like cool tone purple, almost like a lilac or even like a lavender purple. Hmm, that is nice. Now we're going to take my EO2 from Singe Beauty. I want to use Heaven, which is like another cooler purple shade, but this is darker. It's not quite a plum. We're going to pack this on the outer corner. And sorry if you can hear the dog in the background. That's somewhere outside in my neighborhood. So I'm just concentrating this on the outer corner. So we're going to take the EO3 from Singe and we're just going to blend these shades together right where they meet. But that is really pretty, really pigmented, blending nicely. These are like some of the best brushes, by the way, Singe Beauty brushes. Now we're going to take Exhilaration. This is like a purple to a almost gold shift, and I'm going to put it on my ring finger. I'm going to pop this on the center of the eye. There's a little bit of fallout, but it's not like bad. For the inner corner, we're going to take Elatedness, and it's this like pink shimmer shade, and I think it'll be really pretty as like a pop in the inner corner. I'm going to take my pinky, and look how pretty that is. It's like pearlescent almost. That's really pretty. Ooh, that's a really nice pop of something on the inner corner. Very sparkly, like that's pretty. So I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and I'm going to wipe away stuff that got like right underneath my eye. So we have a really nice like purple moment going. It really reminds me of like an amethyst stone. It is gorgeous. I'm going to take my EO4 from Singe Beauty. We're going to dip into Heaven again, and this is just going to go on the lower lash line. I'm going to dust away any of the fallout. There isn't a lot, but there was a little bit with the purple shimmer shade. But this is what the eyeshadow look is looking like. I'm going to pop on some lashes with mascara. I don't do fake lashes. I'm going to put some mascara on, and then I will be right back. Here is completed eyeshadow look number 1 with the Jewels and Gem from Oden's Eye. This is more of a like purpley look, and it really reminds me of an amethyst stone. Really beautiful. I enjoy the colors. So let's get into another look with the Stone and Rock palette. Here is the second palette from the Jewel and Gem collection from Oden's Eye. This is the Stone and Rock palette. This is more of a like green, grungy, neutral palette, and it also has some blues in here. And I'm just kind of wearing a white t-shirt today. This is going to be a disaster, but we're going to try and make it work. And I'm going to be using my Singe Beauty brushes today because they're like my favorite brushes ever. On the day that I'm filming this, they're currently on vacation, but they're going to be opening back up on June 21st. So if you want to snag a brush set, they are amazing. We're going to start with the EO3 from Singe Beauty. And like I said, this is just a green, grungy neutral with some blues. I'm going to use Jubilee. This is actually more of a like, it's like a warm brown tone shade. And I'm going to pat out my eyes because like that is needed. And we're going to use the EO3 to lay down some color in the crease. I like the way that that's laying down. It's really pigmented. Oden's Eye just has such a beautiful formula. This is almost like an olivey brownish green tone. I like it because it's grungy. Grungy, green, neutral. I'm going to take a Singe Beauty EO5. This is kind of like a tapered outer corner blending brush. And we're going to use Elevated. This almost looks like a really, really dark brown or maybe even a black shade. Just going to stamp this on the outer corner first and kind of smoke it out a little bit. Yeah, that's totally like a blackish, brownish shade. Now I'm going to take High Spirits. This is a like blue to green shift, and I really want to put this all over my lid. So we're going to take that shade. I'm just going to use my ring finger first. Look at that shift. And pop this on the lid. All right, so that's that duochrome High Spirits shade. I'm going to use this one called Frenzy for like the inner corner. Give it a little bit of like sparkle. I'm going to be using the EO1 from Singe Beauty. This is like the perfect like inner corner shade. Dab, dab, dab. Oh, it's perfect. And then with the EO4, I'm just going to do like a green under eye all along this lower lash line. There's just a little bit of fallout, so I'm going to brush it away like so. This is just a powder brush that I like to use for my under eyes. But overall, not a lot of fallout with this one. I found there was a lot more fallout with the Gems and Jewels palette, this one. So the Stone and Rock just didn't have as much fallout with the shades that I used this time, which is good because, like, oh, they're both beautiful though. I'm going to pop on some lashes and then I will be right back. All right. So we have the mascara on, no fake lashes because, like, I don't do fake lashes, but this is my first look with the Stone and Rock palette from Oden's Eye, the Jewel and Gem collection. Such a gorgeous, like, grungy green palette. And with the release of the Yucca palette, who names a palette Yucca? With release of the Yucca palette, I've heard that this may be a great alternative for that. So stay tuned on my channel for a full comparison between this one and the Yucca palette. All right, so let's get into the review. So let's do the Jewel and Gems, just kind of give you an overall how I feel about the palette, the color story, how it performs. And I actually initially used this palette first when I was doing all of my looks. And the look I'm wearing today is not from this palette, it's from Stone and Rock. So this palette I absolutely love and I think would be so stunning for like wedding makeup because it does have those like pink tones in here. It has some really beautiful like blues in there as well. I just swatched this one. It is called Gorgeousness and I love this shade. It's got like a blue to yellow to green shift to it and it's absolutely stunning. I could definitely see like a wash of this all over the lid with this on top of it and it just makes my green eyes pop. Like that really made me excited when I swatched all of these. It has such a beautiful range of shades that you can do something really, really light and neutral, or you can go bold and dramatic with purple. The purples blend out really well, no problem at all. And I just found overall that this palette is absolutely stunning. If you guys want to see a 3 looks 1 palette with this, leave me a comment down below. Now is for Stone and Rock. The eyeshadow look that I'm wearing today is from the Stone and Rock palette. Very, very simple. And that's something that I've been finding with both of these palettes. You can do something really, really simple with 3 shades, which is what I have today. Or you can go something much, much more dramatic with these. So they're very easy and versatile to do simple to dramatic looks. So for my crease shade, I used this one right here. It's called Jubilance. It's like a greeny brown. It's like yellowy brown in shade. It's really beautiful in the transition. I used that one for my transition shade. The outer corner and under my lash line, I used this shade right here. It's called Exuberance. And then Gleefulness, which that one's like a flaky formula and it's very metallic and glittery. So I would definitely suggest, which I didn't do today, I used my finger. In the future though, like I'll be using like a glitter glue or something like that because it is like a very flaky formula, very metallic, very sparkly. I like the way it just kind of like brightened up my eyes and it looks like very gold and glitz and glammy, but it is a very like metallic shade. It's almost like a wet shade when you swatch it. And some of Oden's Eye's formulas are like almost wet when you swatch them, and that's definitely the shade right here. Like it's very chunky, very wet feeling. So definitely use a glitter glue. Do not apply with a brush, apply with your finger, and you should be good to go with this specific shade. But it is beautiful across the eyes. You could even just do a very dramatic, like darker shade across your lid with the gold and be done. So many beautiful like duochromes in here. Both of the color stories for each one of these is just absolutely stunning across the board. And I could definitely see this being one of those like staple palettes for each one. If you're into more of a grungy green, definitely go for Stone and Rock. If you're into those like beautiful pinks and purples, then the Gems and Jewels palette is like definitely for you. But both of these are absolutely stunning, and you will not go wrong if you purchase these palettes. They are so stunning. Thanks guys so much for staying tuned to the end of this video. Leave me a comment down below if you want to see 3 looks 1 palette with each one of these, and I can get that ready for y'all. I would love to see you on my channel again, so I definitely hope you hit the subscribe button, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!